Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about another top 10 doll list, and for today, we're focusing on the top 10 worst LOL OMGs, at least according to my opinion. I did do a while ago the kind of inverse of this video where I talked about my top 10 favorite OMGs, and so of course now we have to do the darker side to that, talk about the ones that I think were just a little bit rougher in design. Of course, as always with my videos, these are just my opinions. You're absolutely free to disagree. And if I happen to mention one of your favorite dolls on this list, it's not personal. We just have different tastes there. But yeah, focusing on the OMGs. The only stipulation that I had with this was that I didn't include any of the budget dolls on the list, mostly just because I know like they've done a lot of swim dolls. I think they've done a couple of other budget lines, but they're so vastly different because obviously they're budget dolls, like they're designed to be more affordable, and so therefore they have so much like less detail and stuff to them. And on some lists I will include dolls like that, sometimes I won't, and in this case I just didn't think it was fair because I think in general the OMG line is a line that is full of a lot of detail, and so I just didn't think that they were quite in the same like arena. I didn't think it would be quite fair to be pitting like the super budget dolls against other dolls. I really wanted to focus on OMGs that I didn't like because of the design rather than because of the lack of detail. I hope that makes sense, but yeah, not including any of the budget dolls. But that was the only like exclusion here. Anyone else is free game, and I do have some that I think are going to be a bit controversial on the list. So hopefully that will be entertaining for you guys. If you do find yourself enjoying the video, if you could give it a like, super helpful to me. If you're new here and you have fun, definitely subscribe so you can see more. And if you want to go out of your way to support me, I have like my links and PO box in the description down below. Without further ado, let's start talking about what I personally don't think are OMG's best dolls. Okay, so starting off the list at number 10, because obviously we're going to start at 10 and go up, like, you got to build the suspense, is going to be Jukebox BB. Yeah, this is basically just an Elvis doll, and like, yes, there is a lot of really impressive detail. It's not that I'm saying this is a bad design, but it is really just an Elvis doll, and as someone who's not a fan of Elvis for various reasons, this doll doesn't in any way speak to me or like call to me in a positive sense. And when I think of dolls that I don't like from OMG, this is actually one of the first ones that comes to mind. Obviously, it's not my least favorite because it's at the bottom of the list, but I think it's just one that sticks out in my memory as being one that I don't like, and so it was one of the first ones that I thought of. And so yeah, like not the worst doll that they've done, but I'm not a fan. Then at number 9, we have what I think might be my most controversial entry on this list, and that is Trendsetter. Now, I don't think this is a bad doll. I think that for the design she is supposed to be, she's a well-designed doll. It's just that she has a very specific like Y2K inspiration, like a very specific kind of outfit, and it's not my vibe. And like if you love it, or even if you happen to dress this way, that's great. Like if it makes you happy, that is absolutely super. It doesn't make me happy. Like it's just not something that I personally really like or enjoy. And so this one is heavily biased, but this is my list. So like, of course, it's all going to be biased. This one I know a lot of people do love, and again, that's super. But for me, I just really don't love this OMG doll. So she didn't make it super high up on the list, but she still had to be here. Coming in at number 8 is an entry that personally hurts me, and that is Missy Meow. Now, any of you who have been around for like even a small amount of time will know that I am a cat-obsessed person. I love cats more than I should, and so it hurts to have a cat-themed doll be on a bad list video. But I just don't think that she's very well executed. I do like her hair and her ears. I like her little jacket. But what's getting me is, first of all, the colors. I'm not 100% sold on the color scheme, specifically the like yellowy orange and the pink that are in here. But more so, I don't like the mix of the animal prints. I'm sure that there is a good and like fun way, or a way that would appeal to me personally, to mix animal print. But this most certainly is not it. It's just really jarring, and I don't like looking at her, and that makes me so sad because she's a cat doll, and so I want to like looking at her, but I don't, and so she made it onto the list today. Moving on to number 7, we have Miss Direct. I just don't like her. That's honestly all I can say. Like, this very boring entry on this list. I don't think that she's terrible. I just don't like her, and I in fact dislike her even more than the ones that came previous to this. I couldn't tell you why. Like some dolls, like with Missy Meow, I can point out, hey, yeah, I didn't like the mix match animal print. Some dolls I just don't like, and I can't tell you why. Like I don't know what it is, but the vibes are just wrong for me personally, and so like I kind of feel bad having her on here because there's nothing in particular that I can complain about, but she doesn't speak to me, and I don't like her. So there we are. Number 6 is going to be Golden Heart for a variety of reasons. I'm just like, I get what they were trying to go for with her hair, but I don't love how it was executed. I think that probably there are a ton of doll customizers or people who like redo doll hair who could do this same sort of hairstyle but make it infinitely cuter. Because like I think what they're going for is for it to look like hearts, like the little braids are supposed to look like she's got hearts in her hair, but it doesn't. It just kind of looks like two awkward little nubs, and then they like threw some charms in there. So like in concept, I don't hate it, but in execution, I kind of do. And I also just don't really like her outfit. I don't know like what sort of outfit this is supposed to be. I feel like the boots don't really go with the rest of it. I don't know. This might just be me. Maybe all of you like will love Golden Heart and tell me that I'm wrong, and that's fine. Just for me personally, I look at her and I'm like, this is a rough one, so that's why she's here. Breaking into the top 5 is Prism, and I have talked about her before on this channel. I like so many elements of this doll. I think that the hair blend is actually really cool. I like her shirt and her skirt. Like, I think there are good parts to her, but I think all together, it's just so much, and it doesn't work for me. Like, the pink in her hair and then like the blue and then the blue of the shirt, I just don't feel like all of those quite go together, at least in the way that they've been put onto this doll in particular. I really dislike the leggings. I don't think I like the inclusion of red in her design. There's just so many things happening, and I don't think that it's so many things happening in a cohesive way. It's like very disjointed to me personally, which is sad because like I wanted to like her. I remember when she came out, I was kind of like anticipating her and ready for her, and then seeing the photos and everything, I was like, oh, never mind. And that's still how I feel. Number 4 is a doll that I'm kind of surprised didn't actually make it further up this list, and that is Miss Independent. I've talked about her as well a few times on the channel in like various videos. This is just a lot. This is like the personification of the 4th of July in a doll, and I personally just think it's a bit weird. Like, I'm not like a, woo, America's the best country ever kind of person, you know, like that's just not my vibe. And that is her vibe. That is the vibe of this doll. And frankly, it makes me a tad bit uncomfortable. And yeah, so I honestly thought she was going to be much higher up, but there were some other dolls that just barely edged her out. But she's still number 4, which is pretty bad. And I think she deserves it. Actually, like a lot of these dolls, I'm like, okay, yeah, if you like it, I get it. Like, I think she deserves to be here. For number 3, we have a doll that I flip-flop on all the time, and that is Virtuelle. It's so funny because I vaguely remember when I did the LOL OMG ranking, I don't think that I ranked her that badly, but sometimes I see this doll and I'm like, she's actually kind of cool and I kind of want to buy her, and sometimes I see her and I really can't stand her. So if you ask me in 6 months, I'd probably tell you I don't know what I was thinking putting her on this list, and like in 6 months, I might be like, oh yeah, I actually really want to buy her secondhand. Like, I want to get her. But for today, when I was preparing this video, and like even still today, I just think that there's too much happening in too many different ways, and I don't like it. Which is, okay, this is so, literally on camera, I'm like, oh, but she's not that bad. Like, I'm sitting here saying she's my 3rd least favorite OMG doll, as I'm actively being like, oh, actually, you know what? I kind of like her visor, and like, I like the pants, like the cargo situation she's got going on. I cannot for the life of me decide what's going on in my brain with Virtuelle, but when I came up with this list, I wasn't vibing with her, so it's too late to go back now. We're gonna put her up here. I do think she could have been improved. Like, I think there are really cool elements. I like the makeup. I think that's funky. I like the color of the hair and the visor and the pants. Other things I am very much less sure on. So yeah, this is probably not one that like I'll stick to my guns on. Not like Miss Independent. Like with Miss Independent, if I ever tell you that I love that doll, I'm an impersonator, okay? But Virtuelle, I kind of flip-flop on, but for today, she's at number 3. Number 2 is going to be Agent Glamour, and the only thing that I like about this doll is her sunglasses. I think her sunglasses are fun and weird, and I like that. And everything else, I'm not a fan of. Like, I could see myself liking the shirt, but I just don't know. I don't like the colors above all. Like, I think that there are too many colors that just don't go together, at least in my opinion. The way that they're like done here, I just don't like the way that it looks. And also, this is really weirdly boring for an LOL OMG that wasn't a budget doll. Like, just the overall lack of detail. Like, there's no printed fabrics or like beading or embroidery or anything. Like there's nothing kind of interesting going on with her, I guess you would say, which I think makes the like lack of a cohesive color story even more jarring, because it's not like, at least with Virtuelle, there's something interesting happening, right? Like, her cargo pants are made of like a funky material, and she's got like the cool circuit board pattern on her visor. But with Agent Glamour, it's just plain fabrics in bad colors. And that's all she has. And like, I kind of feel bad, but also I don't think that she looks good. And in fact, I think that she actively is a like boring and plain design, and I'm not here for it. But that brings us to my number one least favorite OMG doll. And I think this one might be a bit contentious, but like, it is what it is. Again, just opinions. It's Miss Divine. Yeah. I don't even know where to begin talking about this doll. I just feel like she's kind of giving modern day Barbie, where it's just like rainbow throw up. That's kind of what I feel with her. There's a lot going on, a lot of colors, a lot of patterns. Like, she's the exact opposite complaint that I have with Agent Glamour, where like, that one was boring. This one is too much in a bad way. Like, she's got the poofy tutu. She's got like a kind of structured overshirt, but she's got puffy sleeves underneath that, and like the full length sleeves and the asymmetrical leggings and these blue, like it's so much. It's not quite pastel enough for me to say she looks like Easter vomited all over her, but like, that also is kind of what I'm feeling with all of the flowers in her design also. There's just so many things happening, and I genuinely don't like any of them. So I think that's the problem, is like, there are sometimes, I keep going back to Virtuelle, but like, I had a similar complaint with her, or even with Prism, where I was like, yeah, I think Prism has too much going on, but I at least like some elements if you kind of took them off of the doll, or if you removed other elements from the doll. But with Miss Divine, I just genuinely don't like anything happening with her, except maybe her makeup is okay. But that's it. Like, everything else, I wouldn't use any of these pieces. Like, even if I just had the clothing and I was like restyling another doll and I could use them in different ways, I can't imagine ever using any of these pieces personally. And so that's what makes her the worst doll for me, in my opinion. It's just that there's nothing I can point to as like a redeeming factor. And yeah, I kind of feel bad, but every time I look at her, I get like a little upset and disappointed, and I don't like it. So I can't really argue with myself. She's my least favorite OMG. But yes, guys, that is going to be it for today. Definitely let me know in the comments what you thought of all the dolls that I talked about. And if you think that I missed one, that like there's another doll that deserved to be on the list, definitely let me know what your least favorite OMG is. I'm very curious to see what everyone's opinions are. But I do hope you're able to enjoy the video today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.